Hi everyone, this is Brysenp. Want to go through a couple different things with you as far as ThinkorSwim and this proper essentials. From what I've seen, there has been nothing out there that actually gives you kind of the basics, the rundown, and gives you the tips and tricks that get ThinkorSwim running for you really quick. So let's go ahead and launch this because it does take a second to go, depending on how soon you did your last updates, along with initiating or your internet speed as well. So let's get this updated. And while we're doing this, this is always for educational purposes as well. So any things I said, there's not any recommendations or solicitations, but we'll get everything set up for you and hopefully show you some cool things you can actually use. I will also be sharing my ThinkorSwim with you for any people that want it. You can go download it and share it. I will go through that in a second. So once this loads, all right. So once you load up, you get this annoying little pop-up screen. Some people like it. I can't stand it. So I never like this to show up on my screens. So this is what I'm going to do. Would you like to see it show up to me? I always press no. So this will never show up again. Then once you exit out of it, you'll never have to deal with it again. So now it pops up in just a different ThinkorSwim account that I've had set up that really has no basics, no charts. Really, it's just the same stuff that you would load the first time when you actually loaded your ThinkorSwim. So what I'm going to show you now is more my setup and how to load that for you, and then you can always tweak it from there if you want. You can always edit, do different things. This will also be in the YouTube file as well, so you can always copy and paste this in there. So what I'm going to do first is I do have my link. I'm going to come and copy and paste on a different window. Come up here, and we're going to go with the setup. And we're going to open shared item. So once you come in the open shared item, we're going to go in here and I'm going to paste my URL that actually is in this video as well. We're going to preview this and then we're going to put open. And now it saves it as workspace Brysenp from March 8th. Okay. So now it doesn't do anything, so you're always going, what happened? Did I do anything right? Is there anything going on with this? It's completely fine. So what you're going to do is come back up the setup, top right corner, click, and come down, and you're going to find that one we did that's on here. It's going to be Brysenp March 08-1 because I've done a couple different testing with this as well. So we're going to open this. It's going to kill the browser, or not the browser. It's going to kill the platform and relaunch this as well. So let's wait for this to relaunch. And we are loaded. So here's my version of how I like my ThinkorSwim. And there's a whole bunch of things you can edit. There's probably thousands of people that do things differently. I use a lot of different tools from inside of ThinkorSwim. Most people only use about 5 to 10% of the platform. I'll show you a little bit more of that, but I don't use too much. You can go so in depth. Depends on what you do and how you trade as well. So it all depends on what you do. So I'm going to come through here and show you a couple of my tips and tricks now. So uploading charts, sometimes when you're actually doing the uploading charts, it won't click over, but if you do need to, you can load style, and as I have mine as BP default, will actually load that default chart. It'll come and have all these fun little CNBC icons, but you don't need to even have that, and then you can actually change those later on. And how you change those later on, if you get annoyed by those, you can come into the settings, click on the little gear icon, come up to, I believe it's appearances, actually it's equities, sorry, show in CNBC video, and we're going to get rid of that and apply OK. So that's how you really get rid of all those fun little things, and or if you have the blue chart. All right, so let's walk through a couple different things I like to walk through. I don't know if I did that right on there. All right, now I want to show you a little bit more about the profit charts. I like this tool a lot because of drawing and capabilities on there. Some people don't use it at all because they don't know where it's at. So it's under charts, down in that sub menu, like where I was at on my charts. Come over this, and what we're going to do is we're going to add a couple things and change things. So chart settings, we're going to come down here. We're going to add color bars because I like color. We're going to stream chart that actually match with what's actually going on. Markets are closed right now, so we're not going to get any kind of movement. And then we're going to come over and we're going to add some of these studies. So I like to add a couple studies on here. We're in this the past for a couple different people as well. I want to add a couple different things. I want to add MACD histogram with breakout signals. I'm going to apply that study. I'm going to come up and I'm going to do moving average with breakout signals. Add that study. I'm going to come down and I'm going to do the stochastic with breakout signals as well. And then I can save this study set and I'm going to call it Brysenp number 1. Okay. Now it's okay. And now we have a nice little chart we can actually come in. And if you hover your mouse, if you hold down your left mouse and then hover over anything, you can change things over. I don't like this. I like candles. This is more set on the bar, so let's come to the chart. Let's go graph type, and we're going to change this over to candle. All right, that looks a lot better for me. And then if you double click really quick, it'll actually zoom you back out where you were. And we're still in a 1 year, 1 day chart, which I like to use for the spies. You can do a lot of your drawings on here, come down and do your Fibonacci's, and actually kind of scale these up and have a great little drawing tool as well. Phenomenal for drawing. I don't trade off this at all, but this is a great little tool to doing your research and some of your indications on what you really want to do. Type in anything else you want to do. It's just a fun little chart. You can do pretty much anything you want to do, and then draw on these a lot. So like I said, I try and keep things away from my ThinkorSwim side of things, and then apply things on my profit charts if I need to do any kind of drawings. So it's a nice little way how to do the profit charts. Now let's go back. I use the flexible grid, like I said, for a lot of my trading. So I'll have the level 2. I'll have the time and sales. There's currently no volume going on with anything right now. So let's time and sales usually is ticking off depending what you're using. And I don't have anything that's going on at all because it's kind of after hours. So typically I use level 2. You can come in here and do a lot of different things with this. You can actually buy. So I buy a lot off the ask. You can change things, but this is a way how I like to initiate my trades too. You just buy the ask, click on that. It'll bring up an order screen for what you want to do, and then you can actually change your settings, what you want to apply on that trade. So it's really cool how to do that, and that's just buying the ask. There's another way how you can do that too, is you hover over the mouse and you can actually right click. And you come down, you have a whole bunch of great little menu on here. You can have buy custom with brackets, stop limits, everything else. You can create an alert off that too. I do a lot of alerts that way because wherever your cursor is, you can kind of see my cursor, wherever my cursor is, if you right click right about that point, so 103.53, create 103.52. So I was pretty close to where that's at or above, depending on what you're looking to do. And then you can just create that alert. Simple way is how they create these alerts, and then you can also get rid of them pretty quick by just coming and clicking on those little flags. So great way how to do things on either doing the alerts or initiating trades. So I always use the right click. One of the best things about this platform, you can always do different kind of alerts and trades so quick with so many different functions. Now with my platform, how everything loaded, everything is linked. If you notice, I have this little red little gizmo up here that's all linked. And that links out to my trade tab. So if you come in here, you do any kind of option trading, it automatically links and cycles over. So I actually come over and let's bring Microsoft over here. I can just drag and drop it over here. It'll load those options chains along with on my chart. So I can actually see a 5-minute and a daily. That's initially how I do everything. Some people are different. I like 5-minute a lot as far as intraday. I'm more of a day trader. I like to see those quick patterns, and then I can kind of switch these over to 1 minute really quick if I need to confirm volume, or bring it out to a 15-minute, a little bit more stable. I like the 5-minute the most on just how I read charts. On the daily, it's a 1 day up here, and it goes out about a year. So it all depends on what you like to do. I like to set things daily. I use my SMAs that are on here, and to load those studies, it defaults on mine, but you can load those studies and it's going to be the BP default. So you can load those studies. I use the 200, the 50, the 20, and the 30 is the red. So I use those. I don't ever initiate trades off them, but I think as a trader, it's always wise to even know about those and where those are initiated. So it's a really good thing to always have on your chart to know where those support and resistance are and to initiate those. So it's great stuff to learn on there. Now, they've added a whole bunch of stuff. As you know, you probably have the different things where they've actually changed the settings on you. So I like to come down in the look and feel. Mine already defaults to everything, but I like to have the dark and the high contrast. I know they kind of changed things from the old school to ThinkorSwim, but I like to have the dark and the high contrast. If you like that white background, come and do the bright. It'll change everything. I still like the high contrast with the bright, but it's completely user preference. All depends on what you like and really what you have to deal with all day. Because we sit in front of a computer all day, so we have to deal with this. Now, some of the scanning functions, I've been playing around with those a lot more because I typically use a couple other things, but the scanning functions are pretty cool of what they have going on. You can actually change these scans from what the last does and play around with these a little bit more. I've been using these quite a bit. I wish the markets were open. I should be doing this during the markets are open because you'll have a whole bunch of lists generated down below of 50 stocks, or you can change this out the more. So it's a really cool thing that's on there. I'm still playing with this a little bit more. I think they could improve on the functionality, to tell you the truth, but it all depends on what you're looking to do. Now, the Market Watch, any of you guys are kind of familiar with FinViz, they do that heat mapping. This is actually all inlaid on here. So if you come over to the Market Watch, click on this, and you can come down here, and now you can actually send this to red. Remember, because I have everything actually defaulted out to that. So I already had Microsoft on there. Let's choose something else. Let's do Apple over here. Let's go over here, right click, or just actually left click, sorry, since you're on here. And then you're going to send to red. You can do a whole bunch of different things. I always send mine just to red because I only have one that's linked. And remember, that's going to change it on my charts. That's going to change it on my trade tab. And there you go. You can initiate any of these. And then I always have this kind of switched up a little bit. So when I'm actually initiating my trade, I have this on a 1 minute scale with my level 2. So if you're coming in here, I can initiate my orders and send and confirm based upon a 1 minute with the volume along with my level 2. So really cool way on there. If you're a futures trader or a forex trader, you can always come on here. I don't do anything with futures or forex, so I don't have anything set up on those, to tell you the truth. So I just always keep mine at all products. Last thing I'm going to kind of dive in a little bit more is the monitor tab. So the monitor tab is pretty cool. You can come in here. I don't have anything initiated on this account, but you can kind of come through and see where your canceled orders, your current positions will actually show up right here and tell you where everything is initiated or put in place. Sorry, not initiated. I keep saying that. So you can kind of dive through. You can cancel your orders out of there as well by just right-clicking on those positions and loading those up. I also have my Trader TV. This is pretty cool for some of the new stuff. You can actually just start playing this, and you can either detach it right here as a little quick little detach, and then you can drag and drop that in different windows or anywhere else you want that to go. Then I always keep that pretty down. And then your account tab, you can keep that open or closed as well. The default side of things, I always keep a watch list, and the watch list is pretty cool because you can come in here and change these. I change these nonstop. So I'm always adding to my watch list. Usually I have my default on this one is personal, and it's under my indices, so I can actually see what's happening in the markets right now. So if you kind of change that around to the indices, and then a default watch list this is where you can actually come in here and add any different new tickers you're looking at, any new trades, and then if you're coming in here, you can actually drag and drop these. So you're going to left click, drag and drop it out here as well. So you can actually really dive in there. Remember, holding over, highlighting that, and letting go is actually going to show you how to dive in there. I always use the 8 EMA. I've been playing around with this little hole. I don't know if I really like this indicator too much, but it's pretty cool. Last thing I'm going to show you as well is how to save this. So after you have your setup all saved, come save this. You're going to save this as workspace. I'm going to save it the same, workspace, just Brysenp from March 8th, and I'm going to have it 2, and I'm going to save it. That way it saves, and you can actually come in here, and then you can actually share your workspace, create a link, and copy that, and send that out to anyone you want. So that's what I did. You have my link. You have everything else that I use to trade off of. If you have any questions, always reach me. I'm on Brysenp at Twitter, or if you want to see my cute little family at Instagram, you can always check it out there. Any other questions, let me know. I'd be more than happy to help. I've been using this platform for 5 years. Have a good night, and we'll talk to you soon.